Alrighty, so you can see this plywood. So they cut it out to replace, it looks like, or service the holding tank at some point. But because it was cut out, put back in, who knows what else has happened. People jumping in and out, doing sail changes. It's all, you can kind of see it's cracked right here. And then the whole thing, I don't know if the camera will pick this up, flexes and moves. So we're gonna work on removing all the screws, pulling the plywood out, and then I'll use it to template, put a new one. The new plywood, I'll build the hatch, or the port for this, big enough that the whole tank can come out without having to cut the sides back out. And so we'll probably put that in, and then I'll probably actually glass it in to this structure, and then also glass it back into the side at some point, just to give it the extra strength it needs. Yeah, that's my project for tonight. There's a big void right here. So I'm guessing that void is partly why this section cracked. Alright, what do we got?
Oops. All right, so today we're putting some of this foam. It's EVA 3/4 inch foam flooring tiles, but we use them for the sides of the walls for insulation because it keeps you from getting a lot of condensation on them and keeps them warmer and helps with sound a lot too. which especially when you're staying in a marina is very important, and when you're out sailing too, it's super helpful that it's not like you don't hear the water sloshing super loud, slapping up against the hull, stuff like that. We do have the balsa coring on this boat, which if you watched some of our first episodes, you know the story on that one. So that will also help a lot. So yeah, today we're just doing a fun little unboxing. While I'm doing this, Philip is taking the fuel tank out, which is so exciting. Alright, so basically what you do is you measure it, write on it, use your super high-tech straight edge, cut it, make sure it all fits, and then use contact cement and just slap it on. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
The big issue is that I'm going to end up cutting through this here, and I don't want to be cutting through that. Switch that over a little bit. So I'm basically going to have to pull this edge off, and then I'm going to have to cut this off so that it can sit up against it nice and snug. I need a cutting board. 1 second.
You just said look like garbage, which doesn't mean anything because garbage don't look like garbage and are useful.
Yeah, no, this one really looks like garbage. That's plywood, so. No offense to plywood, but it ain't my thing. Oh my gosh, he sounds like he's dying. Alright, so basically what we're gonna do is.
What?
Talking to myself! I'm just gonna cut the ends off. Snip. Alright, now let's try this again. Hold it up. Let's see what we're at. Oh, that's perfect. It's gonna give us just the right amount. Hey, do you have a Sharpie running around here anywhere? Just like that. Now the next one. So I just need it held up like that. We are generally gonna be
Good?
Yeah, I think so for now. We're gonna start just a little bit too big and then we're gonna cut it down from there. Alright, so essentially what I'm doing is cutting this about 1.5 inches too wide. Because I'm just gonna generically freehand this and then pray a little bit and then use this little guy again to measure it from the side. His gloves, he's looking for his gloves. I don't know, give me 1 second. You good? Oh my god. Something's breaking. You okay? What? losing my light in here. So, I'll see you guys later. Well, not that you can see much of anything, but one side is done. Philip's finishing up some plumbing. Good to go. These little cubbies in the V-Berth are in our long-term to-do list, so whatever solution we came up with to make them more usable right now, it had to be something that was relatively easy to remove. I was hoping that these thin yoga mats would just kind of lay in there nicely to protect our clothes from the raw fiberglass, but they just would not stay put. We ended up making these little cardboard mock-ups, and then Philip used a jigsaw to cut out 6 custom braces, I guess you could call it. They aren't screwed in, and they don't really stay put the greatest, but they work for now, and they're going to be super easy to remove when we redo these cubbies. They're not screwed in, they're just kind of held in with a little bit of friction, and it just prevents that yoga mat from flopping down. So it actually worked out really good, other than you can't bump them. Alright, you're probably gonna have to crawl in here with me. But do you want to look at that and tell me? So it's real tight right now, so I'm gonna have to add a little bit of wiggle room for the mat.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take
It's like
an 1/8 inch off of this side and the bottom.
And the bottom.
And
then
I would just square the top up.
You want me to just square it up?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, alright, that works for
It'll
me.
be a lot easier for me to cut.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure.
And then probably to the fiberglass, like up here, you're gonna want to take off the 1/8 inch.
An 1/8 inch. So take an 1/8 inch off of like 3/4 of that edge, and then
Yeah, essentially all of this.
Yep.
Take an 1/8 inch,
And then square the top
Square the
off.
top.
Okay. Just gonna make sure you don't drop a sock behind it or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm not concerned at all about the middle one. I'm more concerned about the 2 on the ends, because that's gonna be like, 5 years from now we decide to redo it and we're gonna be like, oh, look at us missing this pair of underwear.
My underwear's not that small.
Yeah, I know it's not that small. We're gonna square up the top first. Squarish, I think. And then alright, well, but I'm not too worried about that. I took too much off the bottom. Cool. Cut this just a little bit too big. Connect. And then I'm gonna go straight-ish. Oh, that's not working worth the poop.
Alright, so our boat had a cassette player and radio all in one unit, and so that lived right here. If you don't know what a cassette player is, then, well, ask your parents or your grandparents. They'll tell you what it is. It predates the CD. If you don't know what one of those are, well, same thing. So we have this opening that's cut in here, and I don't have a good way to patch and fill the plywood that's here. So instead we're gonna open up this opening a little bit bigger, and we're gonna put a box in behind it. So then we've got a little like cubby space here, and then I'll probably try to find some mahogany to trim it back around so that it looks clean and like it's supposed to be there. So this is the box that I built that will be inserted back there. So I got to add a couple little tabs on the side so I can screw it in. It also needs another coat of varnish on the inside. So that's my project for this. Looks pretty good.